Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. Get yourself comfortable and prepare for some interesting stories. One of them is a story about an OP's eldest daughter who decided to send my elderly cat to a shelter over fear she would harm her baby when the child is born. OP kicked her out. Please subscribe if you haven't and I hope you'll enjoy it. Irrelevant backstory. I have two daughters, one is 21 and in college, the other is 26 and because of a lot of factors finds herself pregnant, divorcing her husband, and needing to live in our house for the foreseeable future, and I am happily married to their mother. The other notable character is my cat Lieutenant, we call her Leut. I found Leut in a dumpster almost 10 years ago, when she was only a week old, got her to the vet, and she has been my best buddy for the last decade. She is now my grumpy old little shadow whenever I'm home. So yesterday I came home from work and I hear my eldest daughter calling me from the kitchen. My wife and eldest then tell me that Leut is getting old dad, and with a baby coming we didn't think it was safe to keep an old grouchy cat around an infant. So we made the decision today to send Leut to a shelter so that she can find a family that is more in line with what she needs. I told them both they were way out of line, not in so many words, and we would talk when we get back. I drive to the closest shelter, find Leut, prove ownership, pay the $100 fee to get her back, and take her home. So here is the drama part. When I get home I call a family meeting and tell my eldest she doesn't get to make decisions about my pets without consulting me. Leut only wants to be left alone, and even if it came to it I would rather exhaust all my options before putting Leut through life at a shelter. My eldest began arguing with me that Leut would be a liability around an infant, and she is unpredictable. Untrue, she is either asleep, sitting on her cat tree or eating. At that point I saw red and told her my cat is well trained and dared her to come up with one instance of Leut even scratching someone, which she couldn't, but kept insisting that old cats are inherently dangerous for kids. I then told her that she had 1 month to get a new place to live, as she clearly doesn't respect me or my things, and that if Leut so much as lost a whisker, I would hold her personally responsible. My wife and younger daughter are now begging me to change my mind, as with my eldest's current financial condition, I would probably be condemning her to homelessness, and that my daughter should come before a cat. Am I the idiot for kicking my daughter out after she tried to get rid of my cat? Not the idiot at all. She got rid of your cat behind your back. The cat you rescued 10 years ago and hand-reared. Oh Lord no, that is unforgivable. Then to double down and insist she was right and that the cat cannot stay. She is lucky you gave her a month. You could potentially offer to let her stay, but Leut is non-negotiable, and, if anything untoward happens to him then she has a week to leave. Also, older cats generally aren't fond of babies and will actively avoid them. Even if the cat bizarrely falls in love with a baby then make sure baby's door is closed when alone in his or her crib. It's not difficult to keep them apart when unsupervised. Also you can get video baby monitors, which could help ensure that Leut isn't trying to sleep on the baby. It's actually kind of an old wives' tale that cats pose a danger to babies. And even if that wasn't the case, sending your cat to a shelter and not telling you until afterwards was underhanded and really unkind. I absolutely agree that, if your daughter wants to live with you, she needs to accept your home and its inhabitants as they are. You might get further, though, if you try to stay calm and show her some resources that demonstrate that cats are not a threat, or even take her with you to the vet to talk about things she can do to allay her fears. For example, she can make sure the door is shut when the baby's sleeping. It's not that difficult. Everyone's the idiot here. To be fair, I think your daughter is a way bigger idiot. She had absolutely no excuse for pulling what she did. You do not get rid of someone's pet. There's no excuse for that bullcrap. However, you throwing her out is definitely an overreaction. Personally, I'd give her an ultimatum: live with the cat or find someplace else. At least this way, when she's living on the street, it's because of her own stupidity and not because daddy chose his cat over his own daughter and grandchild. I've had this dog since I was a kid and he's getting on in years now, but he's still pretty sprightly for his age. I play rough with him in the garden or throw a ball around for maybe an hour a day, and he also gets walked twice a day for half an hour each and comes swimming with me whenever the weather's nice, which is most days. Suffice to say he's not lacking in attention or exercise. I have a neighbor who has 2 dogs of her own that are less energetic and prefer to lounge about in the sun rather than go adventuring. She also has a 12-year-old autistic son, Alex. He's a good kid but lacks some social boundaries and can fly off the handle when stressed out or bored. So one day my neighbor was working from home and was trying to keep him entertained so she could concentrate, and I got a text saying, "Hi. Hope it's okay, but I sent Alex to walk your dog." I said it was all fine and told them to have fun, and I figured that was the end of it. Nope. Alex now takes my dog out every day without asking, so I'll come home and find he's disappeared with the gate open, and I'll panic, and then the neighbor will also borrow him for an hour or two whenever she's at home and needs to distract Alex. I really don't mind if she needs some quiet time and asks occasionally, since I'm sure my dog enjoys the extra attention. I've just got a few issues with some of it. 1. My dog isn't a child's toy, he's a member of my family and I like having him close by. I have anxiety and depression, and coming home to my dog bouncing around waiting for a walk is one of the few things that really distressed me. Now, I get home, and he won't be returned to me until dinner time, and I miss out on bonding with him outdoors. 2. And I'm not sure whether this is the fault of the neighbor or Alex. My dog has started developing bad habits since this whole routine started. He used to be very well-mannered, where you could drop a steak on the floor in front of his nose and he wouldn't eat it until you explicitly said he could. Now he begs at the table when he's inside, climbs onto my bed and couch without my permission. He's big and double-coated, so he leaves hair everywhere, and will just generally behave in ways he wouldn't have dared to a month ago. I vaguely mentioned it when we were having drinks together the other night, and my neighbor laughed and said, "Oh, he'll climb right onto Alex's lap on the couch." I complained about it to a friend last night, and she said I was being selfish since I don't understand what it's like to raise a child with a disability, and that it's not hurting anyone if my dog gets extra attention, even though he's not really, since it's cutting in my personal time with him. And now I feel bad because I can see how much Alex loves my dog, and I don't really want to be an idiot just because I'm jealous somebody else is spending time with him. Not the idiot. I would never let a child, including my own, look after or be responsible for my dog. Especially without permission. If something happens to your dog, like it's approached by an unfriendly dog and hurt, can you trust Alex to protect your dog? If a child, Alex or anyone else, was hurt by your dog, do you want that liability? I don't know how Alex would undo your dog's training, but if you don't like this arrangement, tell the mom it has to stop, lock the gate or keep the dog inside. Put a limit on it. Tell her she can call you once a week and ask if Alex can spend time with your dog. Lay down some rules. Alex can walk the dog or play with him in the yard, but he can't bring the dog inside his place or feed him. Alex must return the dog after 45 minutes or 1 hour, or whatever. Tell the neighbor straight up you're glad Alex likes your dog, but it is infringing on your time with your dog, and the dog has picked up bad habits in this time. If they break the rules, warn them once, and if they can't respect your wishes for how your dog is cared for, then that's them ruining it for themselves. Having boundaries does not make you an idiot. I would let the mother know the issue with assuming it's okay to just take him, them cutting into your time with your dog, and also ruining his good behavior. I'd let them know that the first time was okay because they asked, which they can do again, but they can't be upset if the answer is no. That is, if you're okay with them playing with him at all at this point. If you aren't, and it's a hard no, you wouldn't be the idiot then either. He is your dog, your family member. You owe them nothing, and you shouldn't have to shoulder any of the burden of a kid that isn't yours, special needs or not. This issue is honestly making me frustrated. Almost everyone is saying I am in the wrong, people are talking behind my back, and I genuinely don't know if what I did was correct or not. I just feel so lost. Please do help. I am 17, suffered a major accident while cycling when I was 13. I have 2 really deep long facial scars. I have been bullied really bad because of it. I am tall, ugly and intimidating, as per most girls. People make fun of other people by saying things like, "Why don't you just hook up with OP?" I am honestly used to it. Those people didn't matter to me anyway. But there is this girl I had known since middle school. Let's call her back, I guess. Sorry, I honestly don't know how this works. I had a really big crush on her till a few days ago. I thought she was genuinely sweet and amazing. My family is incredibly supportive, so they urged me to ask her out. I can play guitar, so I made this whole song for her. I went to the neighboring city to get her favorite chocolate and stuff like that. This was the first time I felt like really going and asking someone out in my life, and I felt that regardless of what I do, she shall see me for who I am, and at least, accept me as a friend. I was over the moon when she ended up accepting. We went to a fancy restaurant, had a fun time together, and walked for 30 minutes. She was really sweet to me. The next week or so was honestly heaven. People started noticing me, even her friends seemed friendly with me. I honestly cried every day because I felt so fortunate to get so much love. It all broke down when a friend of hers, who was on Instagram and followed Beck, sent screenshots to me. I honestly felt betrayed and disgusted. She had posts saying fulfilled his lifelong wish by being his Valentine's, making his day by finally helping him interact with my friends. He is ugly, but beautiful people accept ugly people, number ugly people matter, etc. Ex-friend then explained me that she apparently wanted a good social media image and had thus asked all her friends to be kind to me and tolerate me till the first week of March and then distance themselves from me. She apparently wanted to win some stupid positive role model award for her college application because she was lagging behind in community service. And thought playing with my feelings for a few days wouldn't hurt, and apparently since I was ugly, she was the kind one to give me attention anyway. I was in tears and honestly felt disgusted. My blood was boiling. I researched about this award, found a Facebook page about it online. I went to the authorities to confirm if her name was on the nominations list, and then had my friends at work and family as alibi. She is apparently crying a lot because she received a message from the committee saying her nomination was withdrawn. I am now even more ostracized in school, but honestly I have no remorse whatsoever and feel far more satisfied. Not the idiot. As a burn survivor, 45% of my body, who is heavily scarred, I really am sorry that you had to go through this. I know how you feel. I hate going out into public and having people stare at me. Let me just say this, we aren't ugly because of our scars. We are unique. Why would you want to fit in anyways? Our scars tell a story and we should be proud of them. You freaking own them and hold your head high. Not the idiot. You literally did absolutely nothing wrong. She used you to manipulate people's view of her and falsely win an award and earn credit. Honestly, it feels like the bullcrap popular girl you'd see exaggerated in a movie. She deserves what's happened and more if you ask me. You are a strong, brave and inspiring person who is actually a decent human being, and more people should be like you. You didn't seek to embarrass her or insult her or call her out publicly. You merely righted a wrong. I'm sure plenty of other people wouldn't have handled the situation as rationally as you did. I respect you for that. You are certainly not the idiot here. No, you're not the idiot. She is a shallow person using you and also is stupid enough to post that on social media. She absolutely does not deserve an award for using someone. She toyed with your emotions for her own gain. She's a bad person and deserves to be called out. Also I'm sorry that happened to you. This high school crap will be over before you know it and everything gets better. It really does. First time poster, lockdown lurker. 11 years ago, my 34 sister Bill dad died leaving me guardian to my 2 nieces, then 5/3. My dad left me his house so we moved there. The kid settled in the school quickly and made friends. This woman S45F was particularly good at making sure the kids and I were included in events, but she seemed a bit off. She kept telling me how lucky I was to have such a nice house. I pointed out that I only inherited it as 3 members of my family died, but she laughed and called me sentimental. She also loved to organize events at my pool, but she always made out that she was the host, taking charge, making me feel like a stranger in my own house. Our youngest daughters share a birthday so they generally share a pool party. 6 meters ago my BF, R35, moved in. I've known him as a friend since before my sis died, and the girls think of him as their favorite uncle. But recently we got together. A few months after he'd moved in, S texted me saying there were rumors about R and my oldest E, now 16. S said he'd acted inappropriately towards E. I asked E about her day. When she realized there had been gossip, she burst into tears saying she hated this village as no one wanted you to be happy. She said as they walked down the high street, he'd given her a side hug and kissed her on the top of her head. She said it made her feel like she had a dad for the first time in her life, and now the moment was ruined. S texted me later asking what I'd done, and I told her to drop it. But she kept texting me, saying I was too young to see how he was manipulating me. She suggested he was grooming my daughter. I told her to stop again but she didn't. So I blocked her number and unfollowed her on all social media. Other friends sent me screenshots of where she'd posted to friends that he was a threat to children and I was an enabler. Then a few days ago, I bumped into S. She was all smiles, telling me which date suited them best for the party and how all the village were looking forward to it. I said that due to COVID no pool parties were happening, and even if there were, surely as a mother, she wouldn't want her kids to attend a gathering where a threat to children and his enabler were present. She said she didn't know what I meant. I said I could show her some screenshots if it would help. She said how much her daughter was looking forward to it, that I'd be selfish if I didn't let it go ahead. I said she should have thought about that before spreading false rumors. I said if my girl invited hers over, that was fine, but S was never to step foot on my property again. Afterward she posted something on the community Facebook page about selfish incomer idiots. It got taken down, but not before her friends left nasty comments. One of them texted me saying I should be nicer considering the circumstances, but I don't even know what that means. Anyway, I don't think I've been unreasonable, but clearly half the village think I'm TA. Am I? Update. 1. R and I will get legal advice and then decide what to do. 2. Friends seem to think S has damaged herself more than me. People have always given her leeway as she does do loads in the village and she is married to a total crap. But her post about incomers has offended loads of people, anyone who wasn't born here, and stirred up lots of ill feelings. 3. For those of you who say we should move, I have thought about it. But we can't really for 2 years until we get to a good point in the girls' schooling. It's under consideration. 4. I am going to message the one who told me to be nicer considering the circumstances because I genuinely don't get what she means. 5. For those asking about my use of village, in the UK that's what we call places smaller than towns. Not sure what the precise geographical definition, you just know. It's not that usual to have an indoor pool in the UK, so I think that's why she's so obsessed with it. 5. I have thought about sending her a picture of me in the pool drinking a cocktail with a raised finger, but I think I would be TA then, and it's probably not worth the hassle. Not the idiot, but, and don't take this the wrong way, I'm not accusing your boyfriend at all. Make sure if you hear any more rumors, or she says something that's off, that you do something about it. My parents sensed something was off with a neighbor and let me go anyway, now I'm a CSA survivor. But please keep an eye out, again not accusing, just if you ever hear or see anything else please pay attention. And if she ever says anything to you please believe her. What? Imagine how he felt. That moment was probably so special and meaningful. How dare someone take that from her? I would advance every event, because if you feel okay still having parties in my yard, but he is grooming children sounds like she just likes to gossip and be a jerk. I am not even going to talk about the tragedy that resulted in you having the house in the first place. She called you sentimental. My condolences to your family and not the idiot. Ban the whole bunch. Not the idiot. You should be nice to her considering the circumstances. You mean the circumstances where she walks all over you, your property, and your family. The circumstances where she spread absolutely awful rumors about your family and then still acted entitled to your property. Those circumstances. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video please consider subscribing, and if you missed the last episode on the channel I'm gonna link it right here. The story is about a stepdad who decided to pull a very cruel prank on my brother, so watch what happened next. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.